Getting a rank 30 brawler is actually a lot easier than you think. Just spin to win, baby. Okay, so maybe not that easy, or rather that dumb, honestly. But there are 7 things that you can do to make the push a lot easier than it already is. The first thing is to know that pushing rank 30 is a time-taking process. You'll be at it for a very long time. Not just because you have to practice a lot, but also because the higher you go, the slower matchmaking becomes. You need some time to play, practice, and get good at the brawler before actually going to push. So don't think you'll be at rank 30 in a day. Taking into consideration everything from eating to studying to work and sleep, you'll be pushing for at least a whole week, sometimes maybe even months. If you want to rank 30 yet have little time to play, you can't get a rank 30. It's that simple. Which is why when pushing, you have to make sure that you're in a good mood. Don't expect to get rank 30 every time you push. Just go in looking to play your best. Basically, pretty much forget the whole I want this brawler at rank 30 mindset, because that's just putting unnecessary pressure on your head. If repeated losses are just making you more and more frustrated, you should stop and try an extensive break. Because when you're angry, you will make mistakes. I guarantee that you will make mistakes. And when that happens, you can't blame your randoms, because in that situation, you're the bad random. One thing people actually don't consider when they say that they want a rank 30 is the meta. The easiest way to get your first rank 30 brawler is to play the meta. Don't begin with a brawler that is hard to play or master. At the time I'm recording this, Grom is a very good brawler to push to rank 30. Like, don't worry about your other brawlers. Getting that one broken brawler to rank 30 alone will give you the sense of accomplishment needed to go for the next rank 30. The next point is game knowledge. 2 things that come under game knowledge are brawler synergies and map knowledge. For brawler synergies, you can watch some pro gameplay, ESL, the monthly finals, the world finals, or you can simply formulate your own. For example, control brawlers are better in modes where you need to keep control for a very long time. If you're going aggro, it's helpful to have some support, and of course your plan of action in how you're going to achieve the objective of each game. Map knowledge means knowing what brawlers you'll be facing in the map you're playing. To give you some examples, more open maps favor sharpshooters and bushy maps favor tanks or exposure brawlers. Like, if you're going to push in Brawl Ball, it's always a good idea to have a Mortis counter in your team since people like playing him so much. Point number 3 is knowing your own brawler. This means knowing matchups and brawler unique strats. Knowing which matchups work best for you is important because it tells you which brawlers to engage and which brawlers to avoid when you join a match. For example, Mortis attacking the Dynamite instead of the Griff at the start of the game. But you also need to know other brawler tactics apart from the basics, like when to use your gadget, hard counters, that is brawlers that can easily defeat you, soft counters, brawlers that can defeat you but not as easily, non-counters, brawlers that you can defeat easily. This applies to all brawlers. However, these are things you will eventually figure out as you play. Quicker ways to win your lane, dodging, when to push forwards, when to retreat, it all comes naturally from experience. Which is why I said that pushing rank 30 takes time. But general tactics like winning lane or achieving match objective becomes second nature after your first rank 30 and makes pushing the following rank 30s a lot easier and faster. The next point is game mode knowledge. Each game mode has its own tactics, but common to all is knowing when to do what. Some examples for game mode specific knowledge include stuff like the importance of the first bolt, where to place the ball or when to pass it, how to defend a zone, how to spawn trap the enemy, etc. Ladder players aren't as tough as professional players. Sure, they can be coordinated, but for the most part, they are more prone to making mistakes that you can easily take advantage of. Always remember that even rank 30 players can throw the game. But how do we learn this? Well, there are 2 ways. First is, of course, to watch some pro gameplay. Pick any pro and predict their actions. If they do something different than what you expected, note it down. Or you can review the games you lost. Set a game on replay and try to figure out what mistakes led to you losing the game. A good tip is to go through the events in reverse order. That allows you to trace back the events that led to your defeat. Always remember that practice is always better than watching other people play, because you never know what will happen or how something must be done unless you try it out yourself. The 5th point is all about prediction, knowing what the enemy will do and when they will do it. Often high ladder players are capable of perfectly predicting what mid ladder players will do. Where will they be hiding, will they trick shot or not, and will they rush? High ladder players know all of this because they've played mid ladder many times before getting to high ladder. This means that they know exactly what kind of strategies are used here. Predicting is the hardest skill to learn, but also the most effective, because the more you know what the enemy are going to do, the easier it is to win against them. But of course, this is a learned skill, which once again brings us to the original point of needing time. Predicting the enemy's strategies is something you learn over time by playing a lot. It's not something you can just ask someone you know or watch on YouTube or Twitch. The next point is to get good at playing your brawler firsthand. The one thing that you have complete control over is your own skill. So before starting your push, become as skilled as you possibly can with the brawler you want to push. This will make your push a lot easier. You can practice playing your brawler on ladder or in scrims. If you're playing ladder just for practice purposes, then don't get too stressed out if you lose games, because once you start pushing, you can make up for all those losses. And inarguably the most important advice any high ladder player will give you: play in a team with voice chat. There comes a point while pushing, usually around 800 trophies, where playing with randoms just isn't gonna cut it anymore, since you need a lot more coordination to consistently win high level games. But of course, not everyone has a steady team to push rank 30 with, and most LFG platforms and servers you find out there aren't friendly towards players around the 30,000 trophy level and lower. This means if you don't already have teammates, then you're gonna have a tough time finding them anywhere else, which is why I recommend joining my Discord server. The LFT on my Discord server is quite active, and there are people willing to brawl casually or even competitively. Simply join the Discord, get yourself the role corresponding to your Brawl Stars region, and join the regional chats. You can look for other people who will be interested in pushing rank 30 just like you and make a team with them. If you're willing to use voice chat, that's a plus as well. The VC isn't just for discussing strategy while playing. It is also important to stay positive and motivate each other, which is why it's important to find supportive teammates and not just play with anyone you can find. But it isn't enough to just play in a team alone. You also need to know how to make a proper working team comp, and this video here will lead you right to it.